Buying a house is difficult, but renting also has subtle problems that nobody is talking about. Housing is important aspect of your finances. Instead of getting caught up in the debate, let's explore these options via financial simulations and see stress both these options can cause. We will use realistic numbers factoring things which most people encounter in their life, so this answer matters. I have been a renter and I have also bought a house. I think people need to talk more about behavioral problems of buying versus renting. What do I mean? Let's begin. This is the lifestyle that we will simulate today. Brace yourself for some numbers, but when you do something thoroughly, the results are worth it in the end. We will keep this lifestyle constant and simulate when we always rent and rent in the beginning followed by buying a house. Starting age for our simulation will be 24, roughly the age at which people get serious about their finances. Simulation will end at the age of 65. Starting balance will be 10,000 and the starting income will be 70,000 per month. Inflation for all costs will be 5% unless mentioned otherwise. Simulation maintains a balance worth 2 months of expenses and invests the rest generating 12% returns. This way, the opportunity cost of money is also accounted for between today's two options. Rent starts at 17.5 thousand per month and increments by 8% per year. Associated bills are 2,000 per month while renting. Purchase cost of the house is 65 lakh in today's value. Maintenance plus bills is 5,000 per month. The house will be purchased at the age of 34, accounting for 4% appreciation every year. If you run this simulation, the net worth in the always renting scenario calculates to 3.44 crore. It actually calculates to 25.41 crore, but we will talk in terms of today's value so that you can relate in today's money. If you buy the house, the net worth calculates to 3.09 crore. So is renting the clear winner? No. And I am not saying that only because of the important emotional aspects like stability and pride. I am saying so because mind is a funny thing, and what it does with available information is often very tricky. Which brings us to today's financial quote by Dave Ramsey. Personal finance is only 20% head knowledge, it's 80% behavior. What you do with the presented information or your behavior matters a lot. Your mind might interpret your situation in favor of doing immediate easier thing, and it will all feel rational to you. I personally know people who spend 30-40% of their after-tax income on rent and think that they are doing a financially wise thing just because they are renting, and renting is wiser than buying is an absolute opinion they hold. If you change starting rent from 17.5 to 20,000, then net worth at 65 becomes 2.49 crore and you don't even own a house to show for it. If you set back house rent to 17.5 thousand and rent inflation of 9% instead of 8%, the net worth at 65 is 2.33 crore. So your negotiation skills and hunting abilities aka behavior also makes an impact. If you are a good negotiator or apartment hunter and bring down the price of purchased house to 60 lakhs and delay house purchase by another year, the net worth at 65 becomes 3.5 crore. So who is the winner in this house buy versus rent debate? The answer is you are the winner if you get the guy in the mirror to behave responsibly. Otherwise, nobody but you lose. Whether buying or renting is better depends on what is being bought or rented. If you think about it, it sounds like a common sense. But somehow it is lost when people start the whole if you rent the same house instead of buying blah blah blah. No. There is no renting and buying the same house in real world. If you are renting or buying, you are doing it from available options at that time and you should know what they mean for your finances. This brings us to another quote by nobody famous this time, but me. Personal finances are personal. Internet debates don't matter as long as you know what they mean for your finances holistically. Here by holistically I mean personal financial topics should not be thought about in isolation but always together over the period of entire life, and simulations will help you in that. Now let's move on to the stress analysis of these two options. When renting, you have a steady stream of money going out towards housing and it increases as per inflation and negotiation skills. You have the freedom of changing the house. When buying, you need to pay a huge amount of money and then till you pay off the house, you make larger than rent contributions, at least in the initial years of loan. Once that is done, the biggest line item in your expenses is taken care of and you pay only a small maintenance amount and the value of house usually goes up meanwhile. There can be stress at various points in both these paths. These are the visualizations of the stress analysis. If you are a repeat viewer, then say along with me, and if you are new, let me quickly tell you, green line is the value of your investments in the simulation, purple line is the yearly running cost. If the green line is below the purple line, then there will be some financial stress, since you won't be able to comfortably survive job loss, which is becoming the reality of our times. When buying, down payment is going to tighten up things, and this might help with a lot of behavioral money problems. Just talk with people who have actually purchased a house without much help from family. While renting, when life is going smooth like this, one tends to increase the expenses because no pressure is being felt. My mother tongue has a very nice word for it called chochle. These are the expenses you start because you feel you have a lot of money. If you add a new 500 rupees per month chochla every year, in the same period we are buying a house, then net worth at 65 becomes 3 crore. With inflation and all, you are going to miss the impact chochles can have unless you are tracking long term. Also with buying route, you can concentrate all of your negotiation and hunting skills once or maybe twice in your life, whereas in renting, you might need to use these every year, and you better believe that your mind is going to slack off, especially when you feel your income is increasing. Now, I'm not saying that buying is the better option. Winning and losing happens here, not here. I notice a problem with absolutism and I want to make you aware about it. There are problematic behaviors on both paths. We will simulate and see short-term financial pressures of buying a house, long-term impact of such big purchase on financial freedom, effects of prepaying house earlier, and impacts of buying rental properties at various income and lifestyle levels. So stay tuned or check it out if it is already out by the time you are watching this. Now let's see how you can simulate your housing situation while considering all of your goals for free along with everything else. When you sign up, system adds a placeholder date of birth and balance. You can quickly edit those over here. The system also adds a placeholder salary and monthly expenses. Edit those and add more if you want. Today we did not start with any investments, but you can add your current investments over here and the returns at which you want them to grow in simulation. By default, spare income is invested into high-risk mutual funds earning conservative 12% returns. You can manage the distribution between high and low-risk mutual funds, deposits, and also configure rate of return or interest rate in the strategy section. Leave the defaults as they are or go through it and geek out. There are plenty of things to learn about your finances while playing in this section. Example, we did not prepay the home loan early in today's simulation, but you can configure what portion of spare income should be used to prepay the home loan. Then you can quickly add the car or vehicle that you want to buy or already have. Add kids along with education and marriage fund, and you can track if your simulation was able to achieve that goal. There are few non-kids related goals over here for you to try. Don't forget to add any personal loan or credit card debt that you have. In the housing section, you can add a rented house if you are currently renting. You can simulate shift into a new bigger rented house sometime down the line, or you can choose to purchase a house either with or without loan. If you currently own a house and plan to buy a bigger one, then it is possible to simulate that via keeping or selling the owned house. Every year you have to add today's value and simulation will take care of inflation. If you want to compare effects of two simulation items, then you can add one of them to simulation or S and another in what if or WI, and then come to home page and compare them head on. As always, if there is anything you want to simulate but currently unavailable, then let me know in the comments and I will build it. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for the entire series and see you in the next one.